This is BRICS Global Television Network's weekly news roundup. We begin with the headlines. Russia and Vietnam have reaffirmed their commitment to reinforcing alliances. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa begins his second term in office. 6 candidates in Tehran are competing to succeed the late ultra-conservative President Ebrahim Raisi. And China's Olympic swimming team's been announced and includes 11 athletes involved in the TMZ doping scandal. Hello, I'm Juliet Newell. Russia and Vietnam have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening ties during President Vladimir Putin's recent state visit, aimed at reinforcing alliances as Russia faces increasing isolation due to the Ukraine conflict. Putin, having just concluded talks with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, arrived in Vietnam seeking to bolster long-standing relations. While Vietnam has not publicly pledged unequivocal support for Russia on Ukraine, as North Korea did, President Thao Lam has expressed a mutual interest in enhancing defense cooperation. Emphasizing adherence to international law, Lam highlighted their shared goal of regional and global peace and security. Over the decades, Russia's been Vietnam's primary arms supplier, although recent years have seen a decline amid heightened international sanctions. Both nations see their defense collaboration as fostering peace and stability in the region, emphasizing it wasn't targeted against any third party. The visit also solidified agreements spanning education, justice and civil nuclear projects, reflecting shared positions on key international issues between the two nations. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has been inaugurated, marking his second term in office. During the ceremony, he celebrated a new era after his party, the African National Congress, secured a government of national unity to retain power. Lawmakers reaffirmed the 71-year-old's presidency following an election that saw no clear victor for the first time in 30 years.
As we enter another era in the life of our nation, the resilience of our democracy has once more been tested, and the people have spoken loudly that they choose peace and democracy over conflict, violence, undemocratic and unconstitutional methods. And so today, my fellow South Africans, is no ordinary day. It is a moment of fundamental consequence in the life of our nation. It is a moment when we must choose to either move forward together or risk losing all we have built. In this moment, we must choose to move forward, to close the distances between South Africans and to build a more equal society, to translate the promise of our Constitution and the vision of the Freedom Charter into a reality for all. This moment requires extraordinary courage and leadership. It requires a common mission to safeguard national unity, peace, stability, inclusive economic growth, non-racialism, and non-sexism.
Speaking before lawmakers, foreign dignitaries, religious and traditional leaders, and cheering supporters, Ramaphosa said voters did not give any party a full mandate to govern alone, in what observers say will be a first test for the government of national unity. The president is expected to announce his cabinet in the coming days as talks among members continue. Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen says it's very important that policies are blended and that there is a coherent plan for government over the next 5 years. China's announced it'll loan Australia a new pair of adorable giant pandas to replace Wang Wang and Fu Ni. who have been at Adelaide Zoo since 2009 without producing any offspring. Premier Li Qiang revealed on Sunday. The pandas were part of a global conservation initiative and served as a cornerstone of China's panda diplomacy. Breeding pandas is notoriously challenging due to their low reproductive rates, and despite efforts including artificial insemination, hopes of cubs in Adelaide were repeatedly dashed. Premier Li, visiting Adelaide on a fence-mending trip following trade sanctions, confirmed Wang Wang and Funi would return to China by the end of the year. We'll provide a new pair of equally beautiful, lovely and adorable pandas as soon as possible, Li assured, adding that China would present Australia with candidates for selection. Foreign Minister Penny Wong welcomed the gesture, noting its positive impact on the economy, South Australian jobs, tourism and bilateral relations. The announcement emphasises efforts to stabilise relations between the two nations, acknowledging Wong's efforts and reflecting China's commitment to conservation amid ongoing threats to the giant panda population, which remains vulnerable despite a partial recovery in recent years. British businesswoman Christine Lee is suing UK intelligence services after they accused her of acting as a Chinese agent. MI5, the domestic intelligence agency, claimed that in 2022, Lee engaged with lawmakers for China's Communist Party. This follows her £500,000 donation to Labour MP Barry Gardner. For more on this story, here's our BGTN London correspondent, Hayley Bentley.
So in January 2022, the United Kingdom's domestic spy agency MI5 sent out an alert notice about the Chinese lawyer Christine Lee. They alleged that she was involved with what they call political interference in the United Kingdom on behalf of China's ruling Communist Party. Now, this is a very unprecedented warning, which stated that Christine Lee had been facilitating financial donations to both current and future parliament members on behalf of foreign individuals residing in Hong Kong and China. Now, Lee, along with his son, is suing Britain's intelligence agency MI5, saying the decision is politically motivated and that it has destroyed her life and left her a prisoner in her own home. And since the alert was issued, she has not spoken publicly, but in a witness statement, she said that this has ruined her reputation and her career. And she said, and I quote, "In short, I can summarize the issuance of the notice by the respondent has totally destroyed my life, my family lives, my business and my business colleagues' lives." And in her statement, Lee, who is a British citizen who moved to Britain from Hong Kong in the early 1960s, saying she was given no advance warning or details about the allegations against her. And she said she has been used what she's called a political football to divert attention away from the woes of then Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Now, in recent years, there has been a deterioration in relations between China and the United Kingdom, and British security authorities have repeatedly warned about the potential threats from China. And both London and Beijing have exchanged allegations of espionage, with the Christine Lee case being the most prominent. And two British citizens, one a former aide to a well-known British politician, is set to stand trial next year on charges of spying for China. And in addition, two British married couple are going to be standing trial in China. Hayley Bentley, BGTN, London, England.
In Iran, 6 candidates in Tehran are competing to succeed the late ultra-conservative President Ebrahim Raisi, focusing on revitalizing Iran's economy amid severe challenges ahead of the upcoming election. In their initial debate, 5 conservatives and 1 reformist have pledged to tackle the economic hardships affecting Iran's 85 million people, exacerbated by international sanctions and high inflation. Originally scheduled for 2025, the election was moved forward due to Raisi's recent death in a helicopter crash. Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, a conservative hopeful and Iran's parliament speaker, has vowed to strengthen the economy to mitigate inflation's impact on salaries and purchasing power. He also committed to removing US sanctions imposed after the US withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear deal. Meanwhile, Masoud Pezeshkian, the sole reformist candidate, has advocated for improving global and regional relations to stimulate economic growth and has called for easing internet restrictions as well. The reformist influence dwindling since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Pezeshkian has emerged as a preferred candidate, supported after moderate contenders were barred from running. Conversely, ultra-conservative Saeed Jalili has dismissed the need for Western relations, criticizing former US President Donald Trump's policy against Iran to maximize pressure. And Brazilian President Luiz Lula da Silva has emphasized the urgency of combating criminal activities responsible for Amazon deforestation and has called for swift and adaptable measures. This as he signed a new initiative in Brasilia earlier this week. The measures allocate 318 million reais, that's around $58.7 million, to boost state security efforts in the region, part of a larger 1.2 billion reais plan launched nearly a year ago. Lula's described this funding as unprecedented in Brazilian history for addressing Amazon-related challenges, stressing the need for agility in its implementation before his term concludes in 2026. The Amazon Plan, Security and Sovereignty Initiative, aims to enhance resources like boats and helicopters to combat deforestation driven by criminal groups across the vast 6.3 million square kilometers of rainforest. The plan also includes stabilizing an international police cooperation center in Manaus to engage intelligence officials from Amazon bordering South American nations. Funded partly by the Amazon Fund, supported by Norway and Germany, the initiative shows Brazil's commitment to halting illegal deforestation by 2023 as global environmental concerns mount. Coming up, BRICS Plus Business.
Coming soon on BRICS Global Television.
This blind kid arrives. I get emotional. And he's special needs and he's blind. And they can't talk to him. So I grab him and I put him on the boxing bag and I put the gloves on and I illustrate to him, hit the bag. And just to see this child learn in 1 minute how to let his aggression go, and he loved it. And he was squealing because obviously he was mentally challenged and things like that. Just to see that, sure, was incredible.
Coming soon on BRICS Global Television.
Now, can your program be copied overseas, or is it exclusively designed for South Africa society?
So it can definitely be replicated. We've replicated it in businesses even, and we've used it in after-school programs that are not in school specifically. So we've already seen that it works in different contexts, and we'd love to take it overseas because obviously a few tweaks here and there, if needed, can be made. But the point is the basic model is something that anyone can use.
China is hosting the 2024 World Intelligence Industry Expo in Tianjin, which opened on Thursday. The expo showcases the latest advancements in artificial intelligence, smart vehicles and smart manufacturing across 10 themed exhibitions. Over 550 companies and organizations from 49 countries are participating, fostering discussions on the future of intelligent technology.
This is actually our first time here participating in this exhibition, and it's an honor for us to be here. And we want to participate right now in the very first minute of that new business, because China is very, very supportive and helps us a lot in that market as well. That is the reason why we are looking for a Chinese place to find our facility or a place for our facility, and to produce all the equipment and also do the development in China.
Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping has congratulated expo organizers, highlighting AI's crucial role in scientific and industrial revolution. He says artificial intelligence has an impact on the global economy, society and human progress. Xi affirmed China's dedication to integrating AI with the real economy through internet and big data, aiming to enhance the intelligent industry. He has also pledged China's commitment to international cooperation, urging collaboration on digitalization, networking and smart technologies. Xi aims to deepen global partnerships in AI development and governance, ensuring its healthy growth to boost global economic prosperity and improve global well-being. Adidas shares took a hit on Monday amid reports of corruption allegations in China, prompting a sharp decline before partially recovering by day's end. The German sportswear giant disclosed it was investigating claims of bribery involving senior employees accused of embezzling substantial funds. The setback comes as Adidas strives to rejuvenate its operations in China, a critical market pivotal to its recovery efforts following the contentious termination of its profitable collaboration with rapper Kanye West. The allegations surfaced through an anonymous letter purportedly from Adidas China employees, identifying several local staff members. And in response, Adidas affirmed its commitment to investigating the matter rigorously alongside external legal advisors, stressing its adherence to legal and ethical standards across all markets. Financial repercussions have been immediate, with Adidas shares plunging over 4% on Frankfurt's DAX index initially, later closing 2.6% lower. Despite challenges, Adidas had been witnessing a rebound in Greater China sales, albeit hindered by earlier COVID-19 disruptions. Analysts cautioned that these allegations could undermine Adidas's recovery efforts in China, posing a threat to its anticipated growth trajectory after recent financial turbulence. In China, newly released data indicates a mixed economic picture for May, with retail sales showing improvement while industrial production growth slows. This divergence suggests an uneven recovery in the world's second largest economy. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Chinese retail sales, a crucial indicator of consumer spending, increased by 3.7% year-on-year in May, up from April's 2.3% rise and surpassing analysts' expectations of a 3% increase as per a Bloomberg survey. However, industrial production expanded at a slower pace, recording a 5.6% growth in May, down from 6.7% in April, and below the forecast 6.2%. The NBS described May's economic performance as generally stable, noting ongoing recovery and improvement. The data reflects tentative optimism that Chinese consumers are returning to shopping amid economic uncertainties, yet challenges persist, including a declining urban property market, which saw prices continue to fall in May despite recent government measures aimed at supporting the real estate sector. According to economists, external demand remains robust, supporting industrial production. Internal challenges such as property market weakness and high unemployment continue to pose obstacles to broader economic recovery. Overall, while there are positive signals for the recovery trajectory for China, remains complex and multifaceted. Coming up, BRICS Plus Sports News.
For many, dance in Africa is a rich cultural expression, serving various purposes like entertainment and religious rituals. However, over thousands of years, dance in Africa has been used as a secret way to communicate, sometimes during birth and death, frequently to each other, and at times directly to the gods.
China's announced its Olympic swimming team for the Paris Olympic Games, including 11 athletes implicated in the doping scandal involving the drug trimetazidine. In April, reports revealed that 23 Chinese swimmers had tested positive for TMZ, attributed to Chinese authorities to contaminated food and subsequently not sanctioned by the World Anti-Doping Association. Among the named are 2 swimmers who won gold medals in the Tokyo Games. Despite the controversy, the decision by WADA not to penalise the swimmers has sparked criticism, especially from the United States, questioning the handling of the case and alleging a cover-up. China, denying any cover-ups, is committed to cooperating with WADA's compliance audit of its anti-doping efforts. Beijing's affirmed its commitment to zero tolerance for doping and has emphasised its dedication to athlete health and fair sports competition. Russian cyclist Alexander Vlasov has opted out of the Paris Olympic Games, citing a packed schedule. 28-year-old Vlasov was among the 14 Russian athletes approved by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, to compete under a neutral flag. The decision came after Russia was suspended from the 2024 Games, but allowed its athletes to participate neutrally, provided they didn't support Russia's actions in Ukraine. The Russian Cycling Federation says that Vlasov found the profile of the Paris track unsuitable and highlighted the cyclist's busy calendar. Vlasov, known for winning the 2022 Tour of Romandie and placing 4th in the 2021 Giro d'Italia, was part of a group that included wrestlers, trampoline, gymnasts and road cyclists on the IOC's initial list of individual neutral athletes. The IOC continues to update its list as more sports finalise their qualifying events. Brazil's Copa America preparations have been thrown off somewhat after Gabriel Martinelli was forced off the training pitch after sustaining an injury from a challenge by teammate Eder Militao. Video footage from the session depicted Militao seemingly indifferent following the collision with the 23-year-old forward. Martinelli, noted for his 10 goals last season, had been slated to feature in Brazil's opener against Costa Rica at the Sophie Stadium in California next week. Social media posts have rebuked Militao for his perceived lack of remorse post-incident. Fans are concerned about Martinelli's condition, criticising Militao's conduct as unacceptable, and have also stressed the importance of player safety in rigorous training environments. And despite the setback, Martinelli has reaffirmed his pride in representing Brazil, saying he remains dedicated to the national squad. India's Football Federation's announced the dismissal of head coach Igor Stimac following the team's disappointing performance in World Cup qualifiers. The decision was made after India's hopes were dashed with a 2-1 loss to Qatar, preventing them from advancing to the third round of Asian qualifiers for the first time. Stimac's termination followed India's third-place finish in the group, trailing behind Kuwait and Qatar. The All India Football Federation cited the need for a fresh direction, stating Stimac had been notified of the decision, relieving him of his obligations with immediate effect. Stimac had criticised Qatar's contentious goal during the match, which contributed to India's defeat in the crucial game. And those are your BRICS Plus sports updates for today.
Gangster Museum and Township Tours takes us on a transformative journey alongside reformed gangsters, showcasing the remarkable evolution from purveyors of drugs and violence to architects of captivating tourist attraction.
We're primarily focused on alleviating gangsterism, so we take people around the townships.
Only on BGTN.
I have no idea who this guy is. Absolutely no idea. He's not me. I am Ray White. This guy, is a deep fake.
So, as you can see, the BRICS nations have done very well with space exploration, boldly going where no man has gone before. Gosh, it's lovely being in space, isn't it?
Catch me, Ray White, on Building Business One Brick at a Time, your BGTN business show that'll keep you in the know about what's happening in the world of business across BRICS, right here on BGTN.
And finally, in India, one man is walking the talk when it comes to the fight against climate change. Chetan Singh Solanki has been travelling across India for 11 years in a bus powered by solar energy.
I really want to change the world, because the manner world is generating and consuming energy is not helping us, and it is actually creating problems. Climate change is worsening every single year, and if you are not going to do anything right now, we will never be able to do anything. So we need to treat this as a very, very urgent subject. We need immediate and drastic action, because this is an emergency. I believe that the whole world is a play of energy, and it is now suffering because of the wrong energy. So we have to go away from the wrong energy to the right energy. But that right energy, the clean or solar energy, should also be used in the right way, and it has to be done at the right time. So the whole purpose of this journey is to go away from wrong energy to the right energy in the right way, in the right time, and the whole world should be doing it, because anybody's and everybody's activity results in carbon emission. So if I do it and my country does it and neighboring country does not do it, we still suffer, because carbon dioxide once emitted has no boundaries. So therefore it is a global problem, and the purpose of Yatra is to bring a global change in the manner that we are generating and consuming energy. So therefore I believe that the first thing and the most important thing that any government, including United Nations, should do is make people energy literate. So energy literacy, and that's why I write always very strongly on my shirt that I am energy literate, are you? It is the illiteracy of the world that has created the problem, and I would sincerely believe that United Nations should take it as the most important project, and to make sure that everybody is energy literate in a shortest possible time. And because it is energy that has created a problem, can we start doing fasting of energy? And by not buying clothes, not traveling, is actually we are doing energy fast. So let us all start our energy fast right away. Let us all cleanse the environment that we have polluted over a period of time. The climate clock is ticking. We are very close to the global warming threshold temperature when irreversible change is going to start, which is another 5 years from now, and in another 20-25 years it will be completely irreversible. So we don't have so much of time. So I believe that the nature will help us to put the stick behind us and tell us through all these catastrophic events of floods and cyclones and droughts and heat waves that, look guys, time is running out, take action right now. So I hope it will not take me 25 years. I hope, hopefully really, that maybe in few years or 4-5 years, everybody will become energy literate, and everybody will start to make a transition from a careless user of energy to cautious user of energy. So I request every parent in all BRICS countries, please, have some mercy on your children. Let us all give them a livable planet where they can all breathe, drink and eat properly.
And that's this week's roundup of news from BRICS Plus countries. Join us again next week as we share the week's top stories. Until then, you can visit our website and social media for the latest BRICS Plus updates.